I don't know what's going on with the connection issues. I don't know if it's me or YouTube, but my Wi-Fi is fine. It's connected. It was raining earlier, so I'm not sure that's the reason why it's being affected. But anyway, hello everyone. Welcome to my live. This is Why Are Humans Like This? I make videos about survivor stories, stories about perseverance and surviving, some tough things from our past. So I want to talk about Diddy, also known as Sean P. Diddy Combs or Sean Diddy Combs or Sean Puff Daddy Combs. He's all over the news now. If you don't already know, Sean Combs is like a music mogul. He's been around since the 90s. He's been very powerful for many years. So he a music producer, and he's even made songs himself. But he was recently arrested because he has been accused of sex trafficking, extortion, racketeering, and all kind of stuff. Just look it up, you guys. I'm sure you know all about it. But I want to talk about just like how recently they talk about how they found 1,000 bottles of. Ooh, it has been said that they found about 1,000 bottles of baby oil and like personal lubricant at his home. And I know that everybody's joking about it. But if you really think about, what he's using those bottles for, there were some people who were not consenting to the stuff that he was doing. There is a lot of abuse. So it's like, I know that joking and comedy is how a lot of people get over grief, but I think sometimes people forget that there are real victims, there are real survivors that had to deal with Sean Combs, Diddy. He has been a very powerful man for a long time, and so it is bringing some people some kind of peace to know that he might really be held accountable for his crimes. Back in November, I think, of last year, 2023, his longtime girlfriend and slave, in my opinion, he was treating her like she was a slave. So Cassie came out and she accused him of like all these different, physical abuse, domestic violence, sexual abuse. And recently a video was shown showing P. Diddy beating Cassie in a hotel lobby. He was like being really off the chain. Like he was being very abusive, and there's no way around it. So Cassie has since settled with Sean Combs with a undisclosed amount of money. So it doesn't erase the abuse that she suffered with him. And I think her coming out with his story was more so about exposing him. Like he needed to be exposed. There's so many other victims, and some people were like, oh, they're consenting adults or this and that, or they're just trying to take him down because he's powerful. But where there's smoke, there's fire. You can't deny all the things that's been coming out about him. I've never really been a fan of Diddy. Like I've, liked some of the artists and some of the music that he has produced, but him personally, I didn't really like him because something about him, my vibe, I didn't catch his vibe, and he just seemed so shady. He seemed suspicious. I just never took to Diddy. I never liked him like that, Like I said, I enjoyed some of the music he produced and the artists he worked with, but him personally, I understand why these allegations have come out because he just seems like off, A lot of things are resurfacing about how things he said and things he's done. And the sad thing about Diddy's situation is that he had a lot of enablers, people who were being quiet, ignoring the abuse that he was, subjecting his victims to, But like I said, people are joking about them finding 1,000 bottles of baby oil, how many bottles of personal lubricant, all these jokes and all these memes and all these videos. But like I said, behind these jokes, people got to think about that there are victims and there are survivors. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of adults who consented to the things that Diddy had at his so-called freak-offs. But there are real victims in this. There are underage girls, underage victims. So many things. I don't know the detail. I don't know what's true from what's not true. But I believe Cassie. I believe the allegations. And I'm believing all the stories I've heard about him. Like I said, I've never taken to him. And I was a huge fan of Making the Band on MTV. And the way Diddy treated the group it was really sad. Like overall, Diddy is just not a good person when it comes to business, in my opinion. He may know how to make money, but he also like takes money. Like take that, take that. Like he's known for that slogan saying take that, take that, and he really does take. You know. So yeah, with making the band, I did love them. You know, with Choppa and Dylon, all of them. Even Dave Chappelle did like a parody about Sean P. Diddy Combs and making the band. Like he was like, to me, kind of, for lack of a better term, hazing them. Like he basically was making them do crazy stuff just to earn their right in the music game and just to earn their right to go to the studio. Like the whole go get me a cheesecake, he had them walk. I don't know how long it was to get him a slice of cheesecake, and that was unnecessary. Like they were there to make music. If you guys are aware of making the band, leave a comment. But it was him. It was like a humiliation tactic. The way he made these, they were adults at the time. He made these grown adults walk to get him a slice of cheesecake and all these other things. And at the end of the day, their career didn't really go anywhere. They made one CD, and I'm sure some of them had little successes, but no one knows where the group members from making the band is. And Diddy made them do all this humiliation stuff, and he could have really helped their careers, but it's like he just used them, in my opinion, for clout or just attention or just to promote his businesses. And he just seemed like he's like he's just not a nice person, you know. It just seemed like he's all about money and not about the person. And like I was saying before, Diddy, Sean Combs had a lot of enablers. I'm sure there were plenty of people who witnessed, and people are coming out about how they witnessed Cassie was getting beat up. They witnessed him, you know, they've noticed bruises on Kim Porter, you know, all these alleged accusations. And then there were a lot of people around when things were happening, and he had a lot of yes men. So it's easy for someone like Diddy and other powerful men to get away with crimes because there's people there's no one stopping them. They feel unstoppable. Like I can't believe he had the audacity to have basically like a sex ring. Basically, like it was giving very much Jeffrey Epstein, and people are even talking about maybe he will be Epsteined in prison if he gets convicted. I don't know how he'll get his way out of this because he's just been a long time abuser. But yeah, people need to think about the survivors and the victims of Diddy's crime before you make jokes. Like I said before, I know we all want to laugh, but it's hard for me to laugh when I know that he was using those baby oils to sexually assault people, you know, drugging people, all kind of stuff was going on. You guys, I'm sure you know all about it. Just Google it, look on YouTube. Everybody is talking about Diddy, Sean P. Diddy Combs. And I just hope that his victims and the survivors get justice, because he has gotten away with 30 years of abuse, something like that. It's been a long time. It's been a long time coming. Like you really got to treat people right. You know, like how do you continue to be this way even into your older age? You know, people could probably give him some grace if in the beginning of his career he was nasty and he was this and that, but then he cleaned his act up. He didn't clean his act up. He was still being abusive up until recently. So it's hard to give someone like him grace. And he probably, Diddy made an apology video to Cassie, and it just seems so insincere. It seems so fake. It seems so rehearsed, saying that he was in a dark place and he's effed up. Like, dude, you've been in a dark place. You've been effed up. He's just saying things that he wants people to hear. And the fact that he settled with Cassie so quickly for that much money lets you know that he didn't want to have to drag it out. And he probably thought that once he settled with Cassie out of court that everything will be done. No, like now you're about to pay for everything else. Cassie was just the beginning. But I salute Cassie for coming out. It's not easy coming out against a very well-known, powerful, you know, man in the music industry, because he has been known to threaten people. Diddy has been known to put hits out on people, whatever. And so it's hard for victims and survivors of his abuse to come out because they fear retaliation. And I think some people feel some type of relief knowing that he's in jail and he may not come out. I don't think they're not allowing him to bond out. So he has to sit there, and allegedly he's on suicide watch or something like that. Like, Your victims, your survivors were on suicide watch. Now you want to worry about your mental health. Like, mental health is important for everyone, but that's why you really got to treat people right, because the tables can turn and you could be the one crying one day. Um, like, my thing is, if you can't treat people right, just stay away from people. Like, if you feel like you're just like a miserable person, you're unhappy, you don't know how to treat people good, people get on your nerves, like, it's best to just stay away from people, because your anger and your resentment is very toxic, and it can become abusive. I just wish people would just leave people alone, let them live their lives. But some people are just obsessed with power, and there's nothing funny about abuse. There will never be anything funny about abuse. I just can't get any humor out of it. Um, as a survivor myself, it's just I don't find humor in any of it. Like, I know that some comedians will say, "Oh, anything could be funny." You'll hear comedians say anything could be funny, but I personally don't believe anything could be funny. It's weird and it's uncomfortable and it's awkward. When you're talking about like sexual abuse or any type of abuse like that, I can't find any humor in that. And until you've been a victim, and maybe there are some people who are survivors and they think it's still funny, or I think it's a coping. I think it's a trauma response. When people laugh and joke about something so sick, I really think it's not a healthy place that it's coming from. And people, I've heard allegedly from a comment section somewhere that on Facebook that Cassie witnessed Kim Porter, that's Sean P. Diddy Combs' ex baby mama. Kim Porter gave birth to their 2 daughters, their twins. And so allegedly, I saw in a comment, someone said that Cassie witnessed Sean P. Diddy Combs beating Kim Porter, and people were saying that Cassie used to laugh at it. And someone made a good point in the comment that was a trauma response. Like, I doubt Cassie was like getting pleasure from another woman getting beat. And I'm sure there's women out there who are sick like that in the head, but Cassie was also a victim. So I really feel like you had to play along with Diddy's game and plans for you to be able to like have some kind of protection from him. And so sometimes people do laugh in hard situations to kind of get through the situation. It doesn't mean that they think it's funny. Like I said, it's a trauma response. It's some Stockholm syndrome. Like, people do weird things sometimes when they're trying to survive something. Survival it can be brutal. Valiant Thor said Diddy got 99 problems, but baby oil ain't one of them. It definitely isn't, Valiant. I was just saying, like, I know people are making jokes about the baby oil, but I also think about the victims and the survivors of his abuse. And, if he does get convicted and gets prison time, he's definitely going to be looking for some relief with baby oil. But he didn't give his victims in any type of relief. He just mocked them and used them. Valiant Thor said, at the same time, is it a crime to lubricate that which is not lubricated? No, I don't think it's a crime. I think when people are underage and they're not consenting, they're drugged, that's when it's a problem. Consenting adults can definitely lubricate whatever you want to lubricate. So there's nothing wrong with it. There's a lubrication business for a reason. So my issue is not the lubrication. It's at the expense of victims who didn't consent to this. They're underage or some type of coercion, some type of just non-consenting. Valiant Thor says Diddy is a perfect example for what happens when your contract with the devil expires. You're right. And someone, I think it was Lovely T, made a video about basically Diddy learned these behaviors from other powerful men and he began doing it. I think, oh my gosh, allegedly, I think it's is it Clive Davis? I think people were saying that Diddy learned these behaviors from Clive Davis, allegedly. So like okay, maybe, I hope I'm not saying the wrong name. I'll try to correct myself later in the description. But whoever is like was Diddy's mentor, or the one who like kind of took Diddy under their wings and everything, people are saying that he got that behavior from them. Like, in order to maintain power, he has to do that. But either way, he chose to have this life. What I'm saying is, people are saying it's a pattern in the industry. To be powerful, you end up being, like you said, signing like a contract with the devil. Diddy is definitely not going down alone. And you know what? I think people, this is Valiant Thor said Diddy is not definitely not going down alone. People thought Epstein wasn't going down alone, but he ended up going down alone, and he allegedly committed suicide. I don't believe Epstein committed suicide. I believe that they took him out because things would have came out that other people were involved. Thank you, Valiant Thor. I really appreciate your subscription. The woman who was working with Epstein, she's in prison, so I don't know if they felt like that was justice, but a lot of more people should have went down. I heard the list of the people who were on Epstein's island was very long, and people are finding their way out of it. And someone's going to have to go down, because there are a lot of powerful people. There's a lot of money behind people like Diddy and Epstein, and so no one wants their secret to be out. I just don't understand why people can't get, like, it's okay if you want to be sexual and freaky, but do that with consenting people. People over the age of 18, people who are in their right mind, people who agree to what you're doing. Like, and it's crazy how Diddy, they said he recorded like everything. He recorded everything. He had secret cameras in every room. So he had a lot of friends. He had a lot of visitors, a lot of celebrity friends. Can you imagine the things that he has on those tapes? So I agree with somebody else who said they feel like Diddy's either going to take himself out, or he's going to be taken out, or he's going to come, they're going to give him some type of plea deal. But he's not going to come out of this the same person. He's going to lose a lot of money, or he might lose his life. And I'm sure he's sweating bullets right now. He should have changed his ways a long time ago. You can't wait until your empire is going down for you to try to have some type of like remorse. You knew you were sick. Diddy knew he was sick a long time ago, and he failed to get help. I don't know what happened in his life. I think I heard a little bit about Diddy's story. Like, he didn't really know his dad, and his mom pretty much raised him. Like, it's really, I'm not blaming Diddy's dad or whatever. What I'm saying is, this is another example that is very important to have fathers in your life. Good fathers, good role models, not just any father. It's very important to have stable, mentally stable, financially stable men in children's lives. A child needs to see a healthy parenting figure in their life, you know, male, female. So I think Diddy just, I don't know what maybe he was trying to get validation in life to prove something to his dad, but he kind of took it too far. I'm not making any excuses for Diddy. He needs to pay for his crime. But I'm always trying to figure out why someone behaved the way they are. Like, you know, my channel is called Why Are Humans Like This? But like I said, Diddy's dad wasn't really in his life. He was married to his mom, and he went to college. Like, he seemed like he was raised decently. I just don't know what morphs his personality to change like that. And he's clearly a narcissist. And a lot of times narcissists have like serious trauma that happened in their childhood. And I think it definitely has to do with the relationship or lack of relationship with his dad and his mom. And he just wanted power to validate himself or to feel important. And he just took it way too far. Some people cannot handle power. Some people don't know how to treat people fairly and be powerful. It's like they don't know how to like be fair. It's like someone has to be beneath them for them to feel important. And it's really sad. You hear the dog howling. That's not my dog, it's a neighbor. But just be mindful when, you know, you make jokes when it involves survivors. Some people did not consent to that, and some of the, you know, it's hard. It's hard coming out as a survivor, because people tend to want to blame you or make jokes, and it's just not funny. And I think we need to make it a more friendly environment for victims, for survivors to come out about the abuse. Even if someone is of age, they're 18 or over, sometimes they are manipulated, sometimes they are drugged. Like, we just don't know the mental state of some people. And yeah. A lot of stuff went unchecked. And I was like actually looking at, someone posted a video, or someone on Facebook, somebody posted like a slide of pictures of Aaliyah posed with Jay-Z and Dame Dash and all these other celebrities, and she was so young, and everybody's like, where were her parents? And she just looked so grown up. And Aaliyah's another one. She was a victim. Look at R. Kelly this did with her. The music industry has condoned a lot of inappropriate behavior, and it's time for things to change. You shouldn't have to risk your health and safety just to be famous or just to live your dream. Some people just want to sing. Some people just want to dance and entertain. They don't want to abuse in the process. Like, the entertainment business it could be very dark. But my heart goes out to all the survivors of all the Diddy survivors, all the R. Kelly survivors, all the Epstein survivors, all the, what's that other one? Just all the survivors in the entertainment business. We appreciate being entertained, but we got to remember that sometimes it's at someone else's expense. Someone singing their heart out, rapping their heart out, dancing their heart out for us, but like, we don't know what they're going through. We don't know what they had to do to get famous. That's why, like, I try not to be jealous of people, because I don't know what it took for you to get in your spot. So I can't be mad at your spot. You know what I'm saying? It was meant for you. Everyone has a job to do. Everyone has a time. Maybe it just wasn't your time. And I know that Diddy has robbed a lot of people of things, and this is like justice for them. But I feel for the ones who had so much potential to make a lot of money, to be famous, and to have a longevity, and they're one-hit wonders, or you just don't know where they are, or they're just not in a good place. Like, I still love Danny D. Kane. I wanted them to be big, and I think they only came out with 2, maybe 3 albums. I think it's just 2 albums they came out with, Danny D. Kane. But to this day, I like Danny D. Kane. And that was one of Diddy's groups. But one of the former members of Danny D. Kane, I want to say, is Aubrey O'Day. She's always been very vocal about stuff that went on. And even now, Dawn Richards have come out and talked about certain things. So the vibe just wasn't right. I don't understand why Diddy felt he needed to be so harsh and rough on people for them to be successful. To be that rough and tough with them, and in the end still like screw them out of money and fame and fortune and royalties and stuff like that. It's just a nasty game. And that's why I respect people who decide to be independent in their music, because when you're signed to a label, it could be a very scary place. Like, own your own rights, own your own everything, copyright everything. Anyways, I'm not a music exec, I'm not a lawyer, but it just looks like the music industry is a nasty game, and if gone unchecked, you create people like Diddy. But there were signs for many years, like, and people were ignoring it or just condoning it, I don't know, or co-signing it. It's sad what money and power allows people to do. If you're a survivor, I hope that you are trying your best. Just keep on moving, keep on going. Your journey is your own. No one can rush your healing. How you heal and when you heal is up to you, but just keep moving and keep trying. But I'm going to end this live. Looks like no one is in here right now. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I just want to come on a little bit to talk about Diddy and just the jokes I've been seeing online. And I just feel for the victims. And I'm going to stay up to date with, and in the survivors, I'm going to stay up to date with what's going on with him. And I may or may not go live about it again or post a video about him. But everybody's covering the story, so it's so much. I'm not a true crime channel. I'm not a news channel. I just give my opinions and stuff like that. So there's a lot of coverage on this story. So you guys will see it all. But I hope justice will be served. I hope Diddy does not get away with the crimes that he has committed. He needs to be held accountable, and he needs to be made an example of. And I do see a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, Diddy is wrong, he should pay. But what about like the white men or the white executives or whoever else? And everyone needs to pay. Every person, whether you're black or white, if you're committing crimes, you need to be held accountable. And we know that there's a racist spirit, you know what I'm saying, historically, but Diddy needs to be held accountable. Regardless of whoever else is not being held accountable, abusers need to be held accountable. Whether you're the richest or you're the whitest or the blackest, whatever, I'm all for survivors getting justice. So everyone needs to be held accountable. Everyone's turn comes at a different time, and some people pay with money, some people pay with their life, some people pay with their reputation. I don't know, but you can't get away with ruining people's lives forever. And even if it seems like it's never going to end, like eventually your time will come. So it is best to treat people the way that they need to be treated. Treat people the way you would want to be treated. Treat people fairly, so you can have a clean conscience and it won't come back on you. If you had good intentions and someone was hurt, yeah, that's understandable. When you're going around being deliberate and purposefully hurting people, that's not fair to people. And a lot of people need to heal because they're operating from places of unhealed and just anger. There's a lot of angry people out there, and they're taking it out on other people. Keep your anger to yourself or talk to a therapist, but don't take your anger out on other people. And if you do, you're human, right? Apologize. Try to make it right. But you don't go around just making people's everyday life a misery. Like, it's just not right. And that's what Diddy did for many years. And people like him need to be held accountable. They need to be made an example of, because you can't use money to pay your way out of everything. And I'm glad the judge did not give Diddy bond. And he is a flight risk. He definitely would go to Bali with Russell Simmons or wherever else. You know what I'm saying? Like another country that doesn't extract U.S. citizens for crimes committed in the U.S. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna end this live. It's about to get dark. I hope you continue to enjoy the rest of your evening. Leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about the Diddy situation. Do you still support him? Did you have suspicions? Do you believe the allegations? Are you a Diddy fan? Or are you a former fan? Anyway, please like, comment, share. Ooh. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.